Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Night of the Shield. It's official. Luke Getsy is announced as the Las Vegas Raiders offensive coordinator for 2024. Is Caleb Williams holding the Bears hostage? Got to get into that in a bit. And reports are saying Vegas is all in on Jayden Daniels. AP, is he old? Is the hype old? Is the Raider way getting on your nerves? We'll have to talk about that as well. But first, my name is Jason Smith, a.k.a. the Oakland Knight, a.k.a. the Blind Jedi, a.k.a. your host, the Night of the Shield. So welcome in. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And if you like what you're listening to or watching, wherever you're picking up the show, hit that like button. Now, with that said, with so much to get into tonight, let's rock it. All right. So to get it out of the way really quick, Luke Getsy announced, finally, it's official, okay, as the Raiders offensive coordinator for 2024. And your boy Q, my boy Q, everybody's, the Raider Nation's boy Q. If you don't listen to the Locked On Raiders podcast, you're missing a good one. But Q reported that, yes, he said yes. And I've been saying it. And I, trust me, my sources are definitely not as good as his sources whatsoever. And to be fully transparent, more of my opinion than anything, I said Cliff found his way out. He was reporting they did offer him the third year. The bottom line is he wanted Washington because, like I said, Caleb Williams, which is why I bring up the topic, is Caleb Williams holding the Bears hostage? Now, technically, if we're being fair, he shouldn't be allowed to. He shouldn't have that power. That's why the draft exists. Hey, I'm sorry you have to go to the worst team. I apologize for that. But if you believe in yourself and you think that you're the best and that you're worthy of the first round pick, the first round pick always goes to the worst team from the year before, unless there's a trade. And let's be honest, the Bears weren't the worst team. The Panthers were, and they already had Bryce Young. So at some point, you have to believe in your talent enough that you're going to be the difference maker for any team that drafts you, not the one that you choose to make a difference for. Now, I get it. You want to go play for the home crowd. And I'm going to get into this is why I'm saying, like, Bears, Chicago, listen up. I get it. You have Justin Fields. There is no need for you to draft a quarterback. The NFL fan base has been told for years, if you have a chance to upgrade a position, you should do it. So I get your interest in Caleb Williams. It's an upgrade over Justin Fields, if you believe everybody that you see. But you also have a fan base that is backing up Justin Fields on social media anyway, from the things that I've seen, from the Bears fans that I looked up just to get, because I was having Justin Fields on my list as a potential free agent signing to help us take the next step until we got Luke Getsy. I took him off my board. Like, free agency, like we're not in the Justin Fields market. We're just not. And I'm okay with that. We'll talk about that here in the next segment. But for the Chicago Bears, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. If somebody else outside of Washington offers you the right deal to get up and get Caleb Williams, you should take it. You do not let that man dictate what you're going to do or what you're not going to do. Now, with that said, if you guys heard the last episode where I said it would make sense for Chicago to trade with Washington because that gives them more power. Smart. If Washington wants them that bad, they're going to have to make the proper deal to move up even one spot to get their hometown boy. And the Bears find themselves in the same situation they did moments before, this time with the second overall pick. And the Raiders are still knocking. They know the Raiders are knocking. And now it's been reported that they want Jayden Daniels, which we're going to get into deeper here in a minute. So you could still trade again. Go back from 1 to 2, 2 to 13, and just keep stockpiling those picks and give yourselves every opportunity and draft capital for the next few years. That's if I was a GM, I would definitely, if I wasn't going to go that route, and was my game plan, I'm running with it. That's exactly what I would do. But it's obvious that Caleb Williams and all the reports with Colin Cowherd and the Cliff Kingsbury stuff that I was even putting out there, I think it was even reported by Graphic Raider even month before or something like that. It's been out there, okay? And it would make sense for Caleb to want to go there. And this whole little game and charade that's being played and how Cliff used the Raiders. Look, it's business. It's dog eat dog world. Okay, I get it. But to go out there and people start putting out reports that the Raiders ain't going to offer the third, look. And I just don't like the foolery, man. The lies. Just be honest with it. I'm going to Washington because I want to coach my boy Caleb. I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. And I'm going to be completely honest because I wanted Cliff Kingsbury. I'm not hiding from that. And maybe that's why I'm a little butthurt, whatever. But the thing that excited me the most about Cliff Kingsbury was not Cliff Kingsbury. It was because that type of move let me know that the Raiders were interested and serious about moving up in the draft and at least getting a Caleb Williams or a Jayden Daniels. That's what it told me. And I'm 100% on board with that. It's the exact thing that I think this team needs. They need to be aggressive and they need to go get their guy. So the report came out today from Fowler, and he said that the report is that all these offensive coordinators we were bringing in and interviewing, Jayden Daniels was part of the conversation. AP wants Jayden Daniels. Now, no need to stop the press. We already knew that. Okay. Raider Nation follows their team closely. We all knew he was in the locker room. We all know his Heisman speech where he brought up Marvin Lewis and Antonio Pierce. They've been connected from day one. We already knew that, it's one thing to want somebody. It's another thing to go make it happen. Now, what's the one thing that we know that AP has shown since he even took over as interim head coach last year? If the man wants something, he goes and gets it. If he wants something from somebody, he wants you to go do it. And if you don't, you move on. Ask Marcus Peters. Ask Nesta J. Silva. At least he had an opportunity to come back on practice squad, right? AP has been a man of his word. So if the word on the streets is true, he is going to do whatever he can and tell Telesco, because Telesco has the power. And I do believe Telesco has the power. Now, I do believe when he was brought in and interviewed for the job, that quarterback was a big issue on the table. And I'm sure he knew coming in what the plan is. And it was it's obvious. He's signing off on all these offensive coordinators. They're on the same page. They know what he's trying to build. He knows what's going on. Now make it happen. All within reason now. All within reason. And there ain't no reason why they can't help themselves and manipulate the board. And if the opportunity presents itself, you know what's going to happen. Jayden Daniels has at least an 80% chance in my mind to be a Las Vegas Raider in 2024. And I'm cool with it. I even actually went and watched some more of his tape before coming on tonight, just to get myself a little hyped and look at his tape. Now, my only complaint, and it's just me, I'm old school, man. And we're going to get into my old school thought here in the next segment. But I'm old school, man. I'm one of those, I like the pocket passer. And I'm not against a quarterback that can run. But I am against a running quarterback. I think that makes sense. I hope it makes sense to you. I'm going to explain it here in a minute anyway. There was some design plays, and I noticed that Jayden Daniels ran a bit more than I would like to. Unscripted. Okay? However, there's plenty of tape out there where he is sitting in the pocket, going through his progressions, waiting for something to happen, rolling out of the pocket, throwing it instead of running it. So, and his accuracy is on point. He was throwing people open. And he has some bad passes too. I mean, he's not perfect, but if you go and you look at his stats and his statistics and his QBR and his completion percentage, that's well over 70%. It's like 73%. That's a high number, man. This guy can throw the ball. And obviously, yes, he could run the ball. Now, a lot of the runs that I was seeing, sure, he's not going to outrun people and get the jump on people like that in the NFL. And I'm sure he knows that. But the boy is very, very talented. He's a Raider, and he wants to be a Raider. And he's going to be that guy that AP is going to lean on to be the quarterback. And I could totally see AP pushing 100% to make that happen. Now, speaking of the Raider way and AP and the Player Tribune, he wrote a letter to the nation. It was pretty much a thank you letter. It was a thank you letter to the nation, to the alumni, to the current players in his locker room, to the janitor, to the cook, to everybody that had his back, that was screaming from the rooftops, Raiders, hire AP. We all did it. And I know there's a mixed bag a little bit out there of what that letter represented, how that letter sounded. And I get it. I get it. If you're just reading something, it's like when you get a text, right? What's the motive behind it? What's the tone? What's the attitude? Is this the same old, like, okay, all right, we need to stop hearing it and we need to see it. Well, guess what, man? It's early February. The Super Bowl is less than a week away. We're not even to the next New Year yet. We're not going to get a whole lot of action. But the thing that I'm taking away from it, both not only his letter to the nation, that he was on the Pat McAfee show, he was on the Rich Eisen show promoting his Circle K event where he's going around and helping the people behind the scenes and giving them gift cards and stuff. Pretty cool thing that AP is involved in out there in Vegas this week. But the thing that stands out to me, and if you guys have been following this show for long enough and you guys know my little terminologies that I put out there and all that kind of jazz, consistency and continuity. Consistency and continuity. The boy's consistent, man. He's not changing his tone. He has a vision, a culture. How many times have you even heard me come up on here year after year talking about this next coach building a culture, setting his culture? It takes time. He's already had a head start. He already implemented his culture in November. The man is not messing around. And I'm here for it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because he keeps repeating the same message. And the more and more you hear it, the more and more you start to believe it. So when you start seeing it, you're going to understand it even more. But if you truly want to understand what the man is saying and what the man is trying to do, go pull up some of the archives of the Oakland Raiders from the 1970s, guys. Go look at it. That's exactly what he's talking about. And yes, the boy is from Compton. And trust me, it carried over. It carried over in 1980 over to LA. Keep looking at the tape. He is bringing back that swag. Listen to the autumn wind, swaggering boisterously. It's exactly what he's doing. It's exactly what he's doing. How could you be mad at that? Yeah, I get it. It's been a long time, nation. It's been a long time. It's been a long time, too, since we heard and had this in the forefront. It's been a long time. I would even say the second stint back in 1995 coming to Oakland. It was already fading. The league has been after Al for years. They were battling for years. He was so distracted. He was getting older. John Gruden did not bring the Raider way. So anybody thinks that John Gruden had the Raider way. Yeah, the Raider way is just win, baby. And he did bring that, right? But the old school swagger We're going to hit that quarterback soon and early and hard. Like that. That's what AP's talking about. He's talking about that you're going to fear me before you even play me attitude. You might beat us, but you're going to know we're there. That's old school Raider. Mark Davis knows nothing about that. Even growing up as a kid, he knows the players. He hears the stories like a lot of people that didn't grow up in that era, excuse me. Okay? But he had a different task. He went to school for a different reason. He's a businessman. When he was working for his dad in Oakland, he was in charge of PSLs and dealing with the committee in Oakland and Alameda trying to get that new stadium. That was his focus. That's what his dad had him doing. And he knew, okay, Mark knew his dad was ending the days and he had a vision. And trust me, Al is smiling. Al loved Vegas. Mark knew he loved Vegas. Al Davis is proud of his son for giving the Raiders a home that they could be proud of, a home for the nation. And you're talking about the Oakland Knight, man. I'm born in the Bay, bro. I am the Oakland Knight, and I'll always be the Oakland Knight. But all Al ever wanted was the same opportunities as the rest of the 31 teams in the National Football League. And the league attacked him and held him down for a long time. This move was not against Oakland. And I know we're still feeling the pain. I miss Alameda County Stadium, man. I miss the O. Big time. My wife found some of my old pictures and she was asking me. There was a picture of me standing by the wall by the names on the plaque for season ticket holders. I said, that's what the names were. That's why I'm standing right there. Oakland will forever be in my heart, man. I saw so many great games, so many great players, AFC championships. Forever live in my heart. But we needed this to compete with the rest of the league. And Oakland, regardless if anybody wants to admit it or not, did not. They let the Warriors go. They're letting the A's go. They don't want to be a sports town, or they don't feel like they could be because of financial situations. And so I tried to take it easy on the O because I tried to understand, but I just get tired of everybody blaming Mark Davis and the Raiders. This dates back to the 70s, man. It should not have been that hard to get something done there in Oakland. And if they would have gave it to the A's and made it easy for the A's, I would change my tone. But they didn't. So it's just another example that it's just not Oakland's number one issue. They don't care. Sorry. They can say whatever they want. It's politics, man. They're going to tell you what you need to hear, not what the truth is. I don't want to dwell on that too much. I just wanted to say that the Raider way, the real Raider way, the swag is finally coming to Vegas. Vegas, you're about to see what the Raiders are all about. And there's about to be a culture, a shockwave to go through the Death Star, Allegiant Stadium, like you've never felt before. I believe it. I'm not tired of hearing it. Yeah, at some point, we need to stop hearing it and start seeing it. But trust me, give me an instance where AP has said something and hasn't followed through. He hasn't let us down yet. I'm just being honest. And he's not changing his story. He's not making stuff up. It doesn't sound different. It's consistent. And the more you hear something, the more you start to believe in something. So he wants the town to hear it. He wants his players to hear it. And he most definitely wants the other 31 teams to hear his message. We're coming for you. We're going to hit you hard. And even if you beat us, you're going to know we were there. Period. It's crazy. Go look up some of the AP stats from a high school run as coach. He was running the scores up, boy. He was 60, 70, 53. The guy doesn't mess around. He comes in and it's 100% nonstop. He's not going to be that coach. How many times have we complained about not being aggressive enough and letting teams come back? This guy doesn't want to play that way. This guy is full 100% for 4 quarters. And I can't wait to see a whole offseason of him continuing to implement the culture that he's trying to bring here, the old Raider way. The swagger. I'm here for it, man. What's that going to look like? I don't know. As far as players, right? There's some decisions that have to be made defensively, especially at the defensive tackle position. That's the biggest question right now. We're gonna have to figure some stuff out in the cornerback situation opposite Jack Jones for next year. Probably bring Amik back. I think Amik will give us a fair deal. I don't think Amik's going to be hot on the market. No offense to Amik, but he's a playmaker. But I don't think you bring him in as the starter. But it worked last year, so okay. You got Bennett coming back, second year. All right, he had a hot camp, and he kind of cooled off, but a lot of college rookies do. He'll come back prepared, but we need to find the answer there. So there's definitely some things we got to address defensively. But Patrick Graham's coming back, and that was the attitude of the football team. Now we have a new offensive coordinator, and a lot of us are like, "Who is this guy?" Well, we don't know. We don't need to know. We don't need to know right now. Okay, there's only one quarterback on this football team, in my opinion. That means there's 2 spots open. I heard someone say Hoyer will probably be back. Hoyer's not coming back. Hoyer's gone. I promise you that. Garoppolo's gone. It's going to be AOC and whoever we draft, and then maybe you pick up some. You know, if I was this organization, I'd go get Jayden Daniels and pick someone up later on too. If you can get Spencer Rattler later on, like 4th or 5th round, I'd do it too. Because everything else is pretty much in place. We need offensive linemen, yeah. But if you can go out and get enough competition in that quarterback room and find us a real one, we're on the right track. And here's the other reason why I'm going to get out of here. Here's the other reason why it's very important if the right guy is there, or if you identify. So it's got to be more than Jayden Daniels. I reported and talked about Bo Nix, right? Bo Nix is a guy that Telesco likes. So if we miss out on Jayden Daniels, and Bo Nix is your guy, and you feel like that's the guy you need, make it happen. And I think it should be a first round quarterback, and I'll tell you why. Because this defense is onto something. We have Devontae Adams. We got Jacoby Myers right now, Michael Mayer, Trey Tucker. We're going to beef up that running back room. And the reason a quarterback in the first round makes sense is because you got him on a 5-year contract. It gives you 5 years, but you have to pay your big money to your quarterback. And that's the 5-year, technically 4-year window for us to get it right. The time is now. The time is now. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. I think I covered everything I wanted to talk about. Let the drama begin. If Caleb Williams wants to play these games, fine. Chicago, just know we'll trade up number 1 and take Jayden Daniels. That's what it sounds like to me. Okay, let Washington play its games. We don't want Kingsbury. Who cares? We're rolling with Getsy. Getsy's a Raider now. We got to get behind him. Hope for the best. Don't let a college player control the draft. I don't believe in it. If you're that good, you'll make it happen on your own. I hope we get Jayden Daniels. The guy's a baller. He wants to be a Raider. He fits exactly what we're doing around here. Let's go. And AP, keep preaching it, brother. Because the more you hear it, the more you really start to believe it. All right, Raider Nation. Until next time, hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. Hit that like button on your way out. Let's run this thing up. Until next time, stay Raider strong. Night out.